Hi everyone, and welcome back to our video series on what is a sentence. Now today we're going to cover a new topic, which are question sentences. They are kind of like telling sentences. So if you would like a review of what we learned last time, or if you're new and would like to catch up, you could just click on the link right up here and it will take you back to our previous video where we discussed what telling sentences are. Now, before we move on, how about we do just a little bit of a review of everything that we learned so far? The first thing that we discussed were the two parts of a sentence, and we know what those are now. Two parts of a sentence. To make a simple sentence, you need the naming part of a sentence, and we call that the subject of a sentence. SUBJECT, subject. And the other part of a sentence is the action part of a sentence. And we call that the predicate. PREDICATE, predicate. Now, we need both of these parts together to make our simple sentence. The other thing that we talked about was telling sentences. And when we talked about telling sentences, the two parts of that is it begins with an uppercase letter, and it ends with a period, right? So now, today we're going to talk a little bit about what let me switch colors. There we go. We're going to talk about what a question sentence is. Question sentence. Question, question sentence. Now, a question sentence, like I said, is kind of like a telling sentence. It begins with an uppercase letter, but it doesn't end with a period. It ends with a question mark. That's right, a question mark. Now, let's go down and let's see some question sentences in action. There we go. And I will use the light blue today. So let's see our examples. Who drives the train? Now let's see. Just like I said, it begins with an uppercase letter, and that's the uppercase W. Who drives the train? And there is our question mark. There we go. Our question mark around and dot. See? So, who drives the train? And you could hear that little upward inflection when I say a question, right? Who drives the train? So that's very important when you're speaking. So who drives the train? So let's see the other one right here. Does it go fast? Now, you could see there's the uppercase D right there. And there's our question mark. So that makes this a question. Does it go fast? Maybe it goes fast. So that's very easy. It's basically a telling sentence, but instead of a period, you have a question mark. So let's go down and do some examples here, okay? So say each sentence below, name the questions. Draw a line under each question. So we see number one right here. In number one, will we find a seat? Will we find a seat? There we go. And we have our uppercase followed by our question mark at the end. Very good. So let's move on to number two. Many people ride to work. Many people ride to work. Well, look, we have our uppercase M, but we don't have our question mark. We have a period. So that's not a question sentence. This is a telling sentence. So that's a boop boop. That's a no. Let's see. Number three. Where are we going? Well, look, there's our uppercase W, and at the end, there's our question mark. So this is a question sentence. So we underline it. Number four. Is it a long ride? So we have the uppercase I. Is it a long ride? And look, we have our question mark. So this right here is a question sentence. So we underline it. And number five, I like trains. Well, look, we have let me erase some of this. We have the uppercase I, but look, this is a period, not a question mark. So this is a telling sentence. There we go. So we have three question sentences. Very good. Let's move on and see our other worksheet down here. So let's see. Tell how to make each sentence correct. Write the correct word to begin each sentence. Write the correct end mark. Well, let's look at the example down here, shall we? So we have, what is its name? And there's our question mark. So we know that this can't work because we need an uppercase to begin the sentence. And we have the question mark, and that's that. So let's look at number two. Can the owl fly? Now, what are the two rules for a question sentence? We need to start the sentence with a capital letter. So this can will not work. So we need this one because it starts with a capital C, an uppercase C. And we'll write that right in here. Can, C-A-N, the owl fly? And we need to end it with the question mark. Very good. Now, when does it sleep? Well, let's see. The first rule is we need to start a sentence with an uppercase letter. So we cannot use this when. We have to use this one because it has the uppercase W. So let's write that in. W, H, E, N. When does it sleep? And we need to end it with a question mark. Now let's look at number four. Will the owl talk? Well, again, our first rule to make a correct question sentence is to start the sentence with an uppercase letter. So this will not work. This is the one that we need to fill in here to make this sentence correct. Will, W-I-L-L, the owl talk? So we need to end it with our second rule, which is a question mark. There we go. This is very easy, right? Now let's see. Who feeds it? Well, our first rule started with an uppercase letter, so this will not work. This is the one that we need. Who, W-H-O. Who feeds it? And then we end it with a question mark. Very easy, right? So what did we learn today? Well, to go over everything up till now, there are two parts of a sentence, right? Two parts of a sentence, a very simple sentence, and we know them. Very easy, just really quickly we could say it. The naming part, which is also known as the subject of a sentence. The action part, which is also known as the predicate. P-R-E-D-I-C-A-T-E. Then draw a line and separate it. Oops. And then the telling part of a sentence, or the telling sentences. Almost made a mistake. Telling sentence. And there's two parts there, which are start the sentence with an uppercase letter, and then end with a period. That's right. Very good. And then I'll change it once again. Boop. Give me a little bit of room. Boop. And then today we learned all about question sentences. Question sentences. Now, these are also called interrogative sentences, and that's interrogative, interrogative sentences. But we could just call it question sentences. That's easier for me. So just like a telling sentence, this starts with an uppercase letter, but it doesn't end with a period. It ends with a question mark. Okay? So you go and you review that and then come back and we'll learn some more next time. Thank you. Bye.